So if you have read Who is Your Provider, you may have heard me, or you've read what I have wrote about, you know, if you're pursuing a faith walk in God. I have mentioned about Christians living as if they're in a hotel. I've even mentioned that in a few videos. So you may be wondering what I mean by that, and it's just so for the purpose that your focus would be different, that it would no longer be on earthly things, but that your focus would be on heaven. Because, knowing God is our true source, that is exactly what he teaches. So that is the title of this video. It's Live as if you're in a hotel. So it's more or less giving you a different perspective than what you already have. Because as of now, the earthly perspective is you worked for what you have, it's yours, it's in your place. Now, if something were to happen to it, you would be upset. So I want to change that focus. I want to change anything that's going to keep you from doing God's will. Because if God told you to go minister into another country, you're not going to do so because, number one, you have a job. Number two, you have a house with your belongings in it. So that's going to keep you from doing what God wants you to do. So I want to change that, or help you to change that. So like I said, what you owned was yours. Your focus was here on this earth. You never looked up. You never looked to the heavenly places. You never, considered that heaven is your home. You never considered about your mansion that's up there. And it reminds me of, Jesse Duplantis and his trip to heaven when he was talking in the video that's on YouTube called Close Encounters of the God Kind, and also his book. He said that God gave him a trip to heaven and he saw his mansion, and it was everything that he wanted, everything that he liked here on earth, God had up there for him. So my question to you is, have you ever considered what's in your mansion in heaven? Because the purpose of it is, if I can get your focus off this earth and onto heaven, then your heart will be in line with heaven. You won't worry about anything that you have here on earth. So since you begin your trust in God, what about what you own? Now, you need to come to terms that if something happens to you, where does your stuff go to? And who knows if it's going to go to somebody that isn't going to take care of it. So that is more or less to keep you, giving you the right perspective instead of having the wrong one. Because if something happened to the stuff where you're currently at, then you're going to be upset and you're going to be dismayed. Now, who knows what could happen to your stuff? I mean, who knows if a thief's going to break in and steal it? So if they're going to steal it, you're going to be upset. So this is what I want to change. And if you can get it to the right perspective, somebody steals it, you're going to be like, okay, well, it was God's. They stole from God's. God, I ask that you would give me this again. And he can give it to you again. But it's only for your use. It's not for you to hoard. It's not for you to reason in your mind that it's yours, but that it's God's. So reason out in your mind that the stuff that you own is not yours. Go through your house, look at everything that you currently have, and think, okay, what happens if somebody steals it? What happens if, there's a fire, God forbid, or whatever? Come to terms that, it's not yours, it's God's. And, like I said already, it's for the purpose of you to look up and not, down. So look at it this way, and I'm going to close with this. If you're in a hotel visiting, none of that stuff is yours, right? So you can't claim it as yours. You're only using it. So that's what it means about stewarding it for God. God has given you this stuff. You're only using it. So you need to live on earth as if God wants you to pack your stuff and get rid of it. You know, that's what God wants us to do. He doesn't want us to have any attachments here on earth that would keep us from doing what he wants us to do. So I'm going to end it here. Thanks for taking the time to watch.